We're going to look at Sam Mattis' American record in the discus, 72.45, and we're going to start right now. So Sam Mattis has the furthest discus throw by an American ever. And the cool part, elephant in the room, Ben Plunknett's a great guy, great human being. He did use anabolic steroids, and Sam broke his record 45 years later, and I think that's really cool. Did he have wind? Yep. Comment down below. He had wind. And I want to break down what he did, what we worked on for the last 10 years. He's 32. For him to do this, I think it's freaking awesome. We're going to look at cues that we've used to get to this point. We're going to analyze some of the stuff that Dr. Christoph Kipp has sent back to us, analyzing the actual movement pattern of this big throw. And so I'm really excited because we've spent a lot of time. We've done behind the scenes videos where Dr. Kipp has been on site. He's watched Sam throw. He's seen Sam's throws, and he's done other biomechanical analysis of his throws in the past. Even going further off of this, he's played a massive role in trying to increase one key concept that I think led to this big result, the 72.45. He threw further, over a meter further this year in Ramona with less wind than he did last year, which is freaking awesome. I think that's really cool. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at it. We're going to check this out, and we're going to see what we think about it. So I'm going to play this in full speed. Look at that thing just freaking take off. I want to play that in full speed. I want to go back. Okay. I'm going to play this again, and then I'm going to talk about the key positions that we're looking at, and then the locations of each point, okay? First thing that we want to talk about is as Sam comes out of the wind, our main goal was that he would keep more weight sort of behind that left foot. So if he keeps more weight behind the left foot, he would be holding double support a bit longer, okay, with his right foot. So his pickup point would happen later. And the reason we wanted to do this is because Sam, based off of his model is 0 to 100 as fast as possible. He's one of the fastest throwers across the circle. So we knew that his center of mass moves very, very quickly across the circle. Dr. Kipp has confirmed he moves very fast across the circle with his center of mass. So the key aspects that we needed to improve were increasing his range of motion and possibly adding like a little more angular momentum. But actually adding a little more angular momentum. So if we think about the right leg coming wider, if his right leg comes wider just a little bit more, not wide like other throwers, but wider for Sam, that would help us be on the left a little bit better. And then he would get across at the same speed and then ideally have more range of motion from a slight high point. So part of this here was that, now this video does not do it justice. So on the next, I have two videos, and then we want this left to turn to where it's like almost at that 90, 180, or whatever you want to call it here. Okay. So we want this to come around that left, and that's the position here. So you can see right there at pickup where the left foot is. We want more weight to be inside of this left foot, okay? So Sam's not bad here. We want that right hip to come around the left side, around. That's where we wanted to see his left foot then be lined up with the center of the sector so that his right leg's a little bit longer, okay? So that's some of the theoretical stuff, the strategy stuff that we were looking at. Typically, we've seen Sam, so right now you can see that chest is coming forward. His chest is falling in, right? So that's part of what helps him move so quickly across the circle. And in the past, it'd be like, that's an error. But really, there's three ways to throw discus. It's genuinely, there's like three models. So it's not really an error. It's his strategy to throw the discus far, and that's not really wrong. But we have to figure out what we can tweak to get him to throw farther. And so one of those things, and this is what we worked on that was really frustrating in the offseason, was getting this left foot to stop. We knew if that left foot didn't over-rotate. So if his left, I did not want to do that. If his left foot would turn here, where the heel would be going back this way, we would know he's on his left foot too long, and it would take too long to get to the front, and he would have less hip to shoulder separation. So we're trying to get across off this left quickly Okay, and then we want to have a better sweep. So his sweep may be slightly improved. Okay, so we're going to see that. And then we want to see right here, what's interesting is that when Sam starts to throw like high speed, he does lead with his knee. And you can see that right there. His knee's past his foot. His foot's still a little short. He goes like this, sort of, right? So the big factor there is we know that's his tendency. So how can we just override that? Like, instead of him doing that 100%, let's do it 85, 90%. Because then we could get a little bit of the space that we're missing. We want to lean into the space that we're missing, but do it very slightly because we don't want his timing and his rhythm to be thrown off. And I think that's a really important concept as a throws coach or as a thrower to take, is that you want to figure out where are the errors you're making and where's the ground that you can make up and how can you leak into the ground that you can make up without having this deleterious impact on your movement pattern, right? And so we're seeing that here. Now Sam grounds on top of his right. It's still short, but his left is moving a little quicker. I've always thought if Sam could get his left to be passing his right when his right grounds, it's over. He's going to throw a lot further. Now, we're trying to get a high point at this point with him. In training, we can see it happen. It does happen at times. And then the other thing is him being more patient with that left arm, not being bent like this, but being a little more patient to have like this Wolfgang Schmidt type catch. That's sort of like the model, right? That catch position is the goal. Now, Sam starts to ground right here, okay? On this video, his left shoulder's a bit forward, okay? I'm going to show another video that it's a little better than it appears here because we got more frames that we can look at, but this is the position that we're seeing. Okay, and typically one thing I want to bring up as well is that now, because Sam shifts with his upper body out of the back, you'll see that his right does not rotate as well as it possibly could. But the big thing that we were trying to get from Sam was more range of motion on the discus, and we thought if we could get more range of motion on the discus, that would pair well with his fast center of mass across the circle. And if he gets more range of motion, ideally he could also get more hip to shoulder separation. So that's like the thought process here. So then the left grounds, he's a little bit open, so the hip to shoulder separation is not as good on this throw on this video that we see. And then we want to see that as he turns, right? We'd like that left to stay down. The crazy part on this is that this is what Sam did last year as well. And you know what? It doesn't matter because his right side moves so well. This is another discussion. I've always been a finish and double support guy. Finish and double support or finish with your left foot down longer than your right. Now I'm seeing that there's models that the left or even Sam, like Sam's right side is probably one of the strongest right side finishes in the world. So there's more, it's more of like the models. And then how much do you want to tweak it on or off to the next model or to another model, right? You don't want to, I'm looking at it more that way. And you can see even here with Sam, as he rotates forward and his hips through here and like looking at that position right there, like dude's lined up and just comes through. And then you just see that discus right there, right? Just take off and just sails off to the moon. Absolutely crazy. So, that's what we saw. Now, when we look at this angle, I want to show here, okay, this is a little bit more of a close-up. I wonder if you guys can hear the birds in my office. I got birds up there. I got a squirrel stuck in the wall over here. I got stink bugs everywhere. Okay, so here is the side view. And what we're going to see here, this is the chest forward position that we're trying to avoid. Okay, so we want to see when the right quad or when the right hip is passing right here, ideally what we want is this chest to be a little closer to the foot because that means that his hips are going to be squared up earlier, okay, with less forward center of mass moving across the circle. So I always like to, if I'm explaining this to somebody, and you can see here what I was talking about with the frames. You can see that Sam's pickup was better than the other video showed because you can see right there his foot is still down and the left is almost exactly where I wanted it. Now, the one thing that I want to bring up here is like if we played this is a wall. And I always like to think can you get Sam to rotate behind the wall and then enter? But he sort of enters as he's rotating. He's entering right there. He's breaking the wall. So he's entering and then rotating. And I've always thought we could get him a little closer to rotate then enter. That's sort of like this game, and I hope I'm being clear on that. Now his right foot comes down here. Let's say like right there. I want to see the left passing a little bit more. Okay, so I want to see him, but because his chest is going in, it's hard to do that. If his chest is back closer to his left foot and he's rotating and then off, we're going to see that happens a little bit quicker. Hope that helps. Now, where we see an improvement of 4 inches, and 4 inches is a lot to a lot of people. Some people they would really like to see an improvement of 4 inches. What we see here with Sam is that's literally the range of motion increase on his throw from last year. Okay, so that's the secret for gaining that extra meter. The wind was less. I want to say it was like 5. I want to say it was 5 meters per second or something, or whatever the measurement speed was. And last year it was like 7. So we see that increase led to his improvement. And then here you can see, so when I talk about this hip to shoulder right here, ideally his shoulder would be sort of in line. It'd almost be like if his left hand was reaching directly towards me. That's where I'd prefer him catch. But he's a little more forward. Now, the thing is that because he rotates so well from his right side, as we can see here, right? Let's hide this. Boom. Whoops, sorry. Like his right side really just hammers through at this point. And so that's what makes this throw so freaking good. And the yellow, of course. So I think when we're really, really trying to think through all of these different factors with Sam, and this is this is one of the coolest moments of my life as a coach. Seeing, I had no idea how to react. I had no idea what to do. That was so cool. There's Alex, Sam. That was just one of those things where it's like, great moment. Dude, years and years of hard work. That was cool. That was really cool. Okay, I wanna show you guys now this video from Christoph as well. Whoops. Okay, so now we're looking at some of these videos from Christoph, right? So we're gonna see like the side view, and here on the side view you can see he's sort of falling in a little bit, right? You can see the top view, he's entering into the circle there, and then the 3D view. And then as you sort of go through this, once you pay attention to the side view and you can notice on the side view there, the discus right here is above his head, okay? And you can see a little bit of like an orbit building for him, and that's never happened. And then that goes through that finish. You can see the path. And that's the thing, even on this video here, that when you're analyzing this, you can just see like what's the skeleton doing. And I want to go back a little because you can see on this position here where he's a little bit, just a little bit short on the sweep. He could have gotten to the middle a little bit more. That middle is that's that axis. And then that would have helped control that left maybe a little bit longer right there. Okay, so that left could have been back a little longer. But then here you can see like this is the position that he holds so well as he works forward on the finish. And so, we did a video on YouTube back in November, I want to say, where we did talk about like the biggest thing for Sam is increasing his range of motion, getting more angular momentum. And we joked about like if he wanted to break the American record, that was literally what we would have to do. And we just focused on making sure that left foot stopped. We focused on being patient at pickup, and we focused on getting wider with the right. And we had some weird cues along the way, like sweep later to try and get wide and cut in later and stuff. Little tricks that you try to play. but it really comes back to understanding the non-negotiable principles, knowing each position, knowing the location of the joints in those positions, and then being able to cue them moving forward so that you can execute to a high degree to be able to get somebody to end up throwing 72-45. And so this was a great journey, an awesome experience. Sam ended up having a pretty good meet in the first Diamond League meet this year. And so he's got Stockholm in a couple weeks, and I hope that we can just keep this rolling as he tries to go out, win another national championship, his third one, hopefully, if he can get his stuff together this year and compete as well as possible. If you guys need help with your training, you want to train with us, click the first link in the description. Head over to throwsuniversity.com. You can sign up for custom programming. You're going to get coached by Olympic trials competitor coach Sam Weeks. So head over to throwsuniversity.com, pick up those programs, those courses today so that you can throw far and PR. Peace.